Alright, y'all. Now, to this piece of content, right? To the thumbnail that's supposed to represent the piece of content we finna break down, I have only one question. How do you like your music? Medium? Right? Medium rare? Huh? Well done? Humanized? AI? Hey, we are seated with DJ AKADEMIKS, you know what I'm saying? With the Academy. We are deep in the Academy classroom, right? Quick, right? While he sits down with, you know, Spotify's new kind of vision of how they see the music, you know what I'm saying? The music landscape being consumed. Just like music within the music landscape, right? How that sort of content is to be consumed from here on out, you know what I mean? Maybe it might be something interesting, maybe not, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we here breaking it down, right here on REWAD, you know what I'm saying? Bringing to you the information you might, you know, you might not have thought was necessary, right? That's why we here, we the runners, we bring it to you. We like, yo, you like this? You like, you want to see? Okay, click like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you know what I'm saying? But then if you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? You just move on, just keep it moving. Let's see it though.
Yeah, Lord, tell me once, can't never fool me again. Don't hate the messenger, man, hate the same. When one thing about facts is when they hit you, feel no pain. When you swear it's about that shit that made these bitches go insane. Simping niggas most neglected, these my broskies, I'm just saying.
Okay. Yo, man. Now, before we go any further, look, I know it's a big ass elephant in the room. It's not AKADEMIKS. Boom. Look, it's not AKADEMIKS. I actually respect Ak, bro. I wouldn't go at Ak like that, right? Even though those three Big Macs are for it. Even, you know, look, music industry BTS, yeah, he, you know, reacts to Spotify speaking on the changes in the way music fans consume music, right? So yeah, well, you could actually kind of pick up the confusion in the intro, right? In terms of like, you know, how music is to be consumed. I guess it's like, yo, how it's already consumed, you know what I'm saying? Changes in terms of how it's already consumed. So I guess that's what we break down, that's what we here to see, because you know that's what we focus on, that's what we are passionate about on this channel. Okay, I care about the music itself. At the end of the day, you know, there could be XYZ about whatever artist, XYZ happening about whatever artist, but then at the end of the day, bro, it's like, yo, the music, right? Yes, it's easy to go, you know, to go with the character of the person, to go at like the personality, how they're acting. Oh shit, did you see this? Oh, do you see this slip up? That, you know, XYZ. But then, you know, here I want to make it about the music itself. The character can veer off and be about other things in the artist's life, but the music, Chico. Now, you know, the whole elephant in the room, right, is the fact that I got these shades on. Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, I'm indoors, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing but artificial light, bro, but I got these on. Like, I don't know how many times I've explained it now, but that's because I got these multiple channels, right? So I had to drop this info on my other channels, this disclaimer, okay? So if you heard this before, I'm sorry, you gotta go through it again. But you know, I got this little, you know, I was in the doctor's office as of recent, you know what I mean? And then there's this, long story short, some sinusitis sort of infection, you know, I don't know, it gets sensitized and then it produces like some migraine sort of pains. Ugh, right? Migraine sort of pains, those are the worst, bro. So any form of like high concentration of light, right, sounds, certain smells, you know what I'm saying, they sensitize that migraine, and then I sort of kind of feel that pain, and so therefore, you know, I've been on a couple treatment medication, you feel what I'm saying, just to like treat this, like some antibiotics to treat this infection. And then, you know, if it persists, I'm back in the doctor's office, man. Golly, you know what I'm saying, back in that doctor's office. But you know, we shall stay strong, hope for the best. So I am attempting to assist that treatment, right, that I took, by just like dimming dimming my face from these lights because these lights can sensitize me. But I still I gotta get the lights on. I mean, the shade, I've dimmed the lights, you know what I'm saying? I've adjusted the whole thing so that it's lower, but you know, working, like, starting somewhere, right? Working with what I'm facing, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, man, VOD, yeah, Act is breaking things down as per Spotify's POV, you know, within the music consumption, you know what I mean, landscape changing. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
They got me feeling like I'm academics. Can't touch that money.
Why not?
His fans will spend hundreds of dollars on a ticket. They won't spend $1 on his music. That is where the music industry is, and they're not too happy about it.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like we got in at just the right time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
They're trying to figure out what to do with AI currently. They're trying to figure out, you know, what's the next step. What should they do? Should they, you know, embrace it? Should they not? Should they? Yeah. They don't know. They don't know.
Okay.
What ends up happening is that the newest thing that the music industry is doing is that they said, you know what? We want to focus on super fans.
Super fans.
It's the idea of why we created the chat niggas. Because, you know, a friend supporter who catches the stream every once in a while versus a nigga who watches it all the time. You want to cater to the guy who watches all the time.
Yeah,
the guy who, you
facts.
know, like, yo, if we say, yo, hey, we about to cut the stream, go to kill.
Like, yeah, capturing the market. Yo, I pray the video sounds alright, bro. Like, don't mind me checking, you know what I'm saying, whether my audio is good, like, through my phone. Tapping into the stream on my phone. You know, it's gonna be a little bit distracting, but it's gonna be for a couple of seconds. So yeah, but the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, capturing the people who are there all the time for your, you know, for the product that you have to offer, right there at the door, consuming whatever that you have to give, right? It's like, yes, it makes sense for you to even have those little subscription packs for them, so that they know, you know, they're paying for a whole bunch of access to a whole bunch of things, you know what I'm saying? It's easier that way. It's easier to conduct business that way. And so, you know, I get the whole temptation where, you know, the label might just want to that way themselves. So it's only right that they maybe produce, because, like, okay, we are about to, like, y'all know me, I be yapping, though. I don't even give a fuck. Look, we are about to get to the point that he's trying to make, but I remember seeing that Joe Budden clip where they were breaking down an AI artist that had just, like, dropped an album, like, right, an AI artist, bro. So I'm wondering whether this conversation, because here's my little premise before we get into the video. It's always good to have your little premise, your little expectation, so that when the plot, like, goes another direction, like, oh, at least I learned something different than what I was expecting, right? So, you know, it's either he's talking about maybe labels going the direction of, like, having a bunch of AI artists, you know, artists, and then having, like, AI platforms just produce the music for these artists, have these artists, you know what I'm saying, like topping charts and competing at levels with maybe other existing music, right? Or maybe talking about AI as in maybe, you know, the algorithmic AI, right? Where the man, fuck, I keep pressing the wrong button, bro. My boom. Not even, you can't even hear that. I just clicked, you can't even hear it. I gotta work, like, I gotta fix my sound. I'm just gonna leave it all together, you know. Or he might be, like, talking about, you know, AI, algorithmic AI, where, you know, the the music of the artists that they prioritize only, or the music of the artists that they, whose IP they own, right, whose masters they own, they can keep on circulating that music because they own now the platforms or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they can keep the music that they still own at the top, circulating, still on charts, still racking up numbers, things like that. AI in that form, or AI really performing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Let me yeah, I don't know, it was just an excuse to keep these minutes. My bad.
Why do you want to cater to a super fan? And by the way, this is not a industry.
Oh yeah, I was actually pointing the things that I was pointing out, you know, to try and cater to the super fan. You know what I mean? As in involving AI to try and cook for the super fan.
This is not a music industry type of thing. This is a creator created thing. Not to like, you know, trip up on words there, but creators came up with this philosophy. This is why Patreon came into the mix. Look at Joe Budden. Joe Budden, pretty prolific podcast. He has a huge set of audience.
My bad, y'all. Just the last check. Alright, that was my last audio check. I think we're straight. I think we should move. Use the disrespect.
Everybody was saying, "Hey, we went over here, got this amount of money. We went over here, got this amount of money."
Yep.
Joe dug in and said, "We're going to focus on our super fans." Worked it for a couple of years. He pops up. He says, "I'm making $20 million a year off the super fans." That's what it is.
Off the super fans, cool.
So the music industry is now taking that model on. They're like,
yeah, because another thing we got to consider about the super fans, the fact that you can sell them anything beyond the music as well, right? The merch, right? The meet and greet experiences, the all type of stuff. I mean,
like, all right, fuck it. If we can't get the average fan to pay for a song or a CD,
yeah,
let's
super fan
get the
to pay
super
for
fans.
everything. To pay
Let's
for everything.
incentivize them with merch. Now they've been kind of doing that with merch, but now remember I told you they partner with this company. It's called Even. It's the direct to fan platform.
BTT? Even.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Man, hold on. I've heard of the name. I've heard of an Even. Just, it never kind of clicked to me what they were about exactly. Direct to fan platform for. What do you mean direct to fan? Like the music itself, the distribution of the music?
The labels themselves,
Yep.
and you see the Universal logo here, they're basically saying, we need to get away the middleman. Because the industry's always had middleman. They didn't know how the audience got to them. They just control the content. Whether they were serving the music to Best Buy, whether they were serving it to FYE, whether they were serving it to Target, whether they were serving it to any of these like third party or even radio.
Yep.
Whether they're serving to Spotify, they would give it to somebody else and tell that somebody else, you bring us the money. But the music industry, after realizing stagnating and growth, it's now invested in something where the fans could come to the music industry directly. Oh, you really like J. Cole?
So it's the kind of algorithms that'll make it easy for the fans to just like, but they still are a middleman, direct to consumer. You see, like the whole dilemma with this whole, with Even, right? It's just, I think it's nothing but just a new way of making it easy for the fan to, you know, be in touch with what the creator is doing or got going on. Understand what I'm saying? So, Even is the middleman. You're still not direct to your fan because Even gotta make this possible. You see what I'm saying? It's, man, come on. But just like innovation in whatever is going on. You know, new ways of doing it. So, hey, there you go. Let's just, you know, message it in a different way, so to speak.
Well, buy the leather from his fucking Honda Civic. Actually, it's not no leather up in there. It's cloth.
Oh my God.
Buy the cloth off the back seat of J. Cole's Honda on this website and get some of his album too. So it appears that the money-hungry labels have now switched their focus.
Where they at now?
They're realizing Spotify and Apple can't give them the increase in money they want.
Yep.
They now want to not attack, but they want to start focusing on super fans. They're moving like a YouTuber. Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
Well, an interesting interview came out recently, which is a former Spotify executive
Bring it up.
did an interview.
Talk about it. Spotify executive? Only executive
And
I know
apparently
is
this interview is like a month old. I think this is it.
Yeah, okay.
But it's really important for what we talk about here. Not only is it a cross section in between, kind of letting us know what's going on in the business, but also on the front we care about, which is the artist world.
Right.
It kind of tell you where we are today. Okay, I'm gonna try to skip to some of this interesting stuff, and let's see. I'm gonna try to be quick with this. I'm salute to the guy who actually did this interview. I appreciate you. I'll go to 110 speed. Let's go through this a little bit.
Change like artist development, you know, got handed over to the managers because the managers were the ones that had to stay with the artists every single week after they didn't get New Music Friday, you know, or they didn't get the playlist. It was the manager's responsibility to be able to develop the artist, whereas the label, you know, the A&R strategy started to change from I'm going to try to, you know, sign one Lady Gaga. Now, I wanna make sure you're taking this all in.
What you mean?
And I know, you know, again, we have a lot of topics to get to, so I would really want to watch like an hour of this with y'all, but I don't want to like, you know, slow up the pace too much. What he's talking about, how the label is basically disintegrated. What a label is today, they're a bank. I seen this very interesting DM. Very interesting DM. Someone said, I love when you start kicking industry label games. But you've always said one thing, and I wonder what do you mean by that? What is it? What is that? And it's this idea I've always said. I said, listen, I'm honest about my shit. Like, I don't know about these other niggas. Like, hey, call me biased, call me whatever. I'm going to tell you what it is up front. I've always said I rob the labels, straight up.
You rob them?
And people said, so the guy said to me, what does that mean? Now, obviously, I'm not like stealing money. Like, that's not what I'm doing. But
wait, you be stealing the artist because I know you had that little plan you got going on with Finesse 2 Time, right? I don't know if any of y'all know about that little plan that he, you know, I mean, Ak has been somebody who's mentioned, you know, signing artists and things like this because, you know, the Academy, I think he packages the Academy as also a record label. You know what I'm saying? So recently, well, he has, you know, spoken about signing people in the past, like in the recent past. But yeah, as of late, it was Finesse 2 Time. He was trying to even, like, you know, see if he can buy him out his deal. Oh, Ak. Yeah, I know about you, brother. Let me not say too much. Let me let you talk about it. You know what I'm saying? What you mean by that, though?
The idea is this.
What
a label is in 2025, 2026, they are a bank. They have a shit ton of money, millions and billions of dollars, but they have no way how to make things happen. So when I say I rob them, I'm not being big-headed, but I'm the sauce. They come to me like this. Ak, how do we get this on your platform? How do we get this artist to be in this conversation?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because now, you know, even with the whole thing of rappers themselves coming on like streamers, like it's a whole phenomenon that's going on with streamers. You know what I'm saying? And people who are big in that kind of world, in the live stream kind of world. You know what I'm saying? It's all content creation, and I feel like the whole, you know, like artists are starting to realize the value within the content space and how content moves and how, you know what I'm saying, that can have an effect on somebody's brand. That's why even advertisers, they approach a whole lot of these content creators, you know what I'm saying, for advertising space and you know, airtime to advertise these stuff, you know what I mean? And so therefore I feel like now they see where they can benefit in terms of that, you know, without them having maybe the in-house aspect within the organization of maybe people that go live. You know what I'm saying? Where now they can now take the artists that they develop, put them within this fraternity, within the label of live streamers or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? They probably might go that route. But, you know, for what it's worth right now, I feel like, yeah, that's why they be approaching people like y'all, right? People like you. People like streamers. They need, like, y'all, like, yo, streamers are a very crucial part of the game these days. I've been even seeing a whole lot of rappers go on Platboy Max's shit. You know what I mean? So, hey, Impact.
How do we, they don't know nothing. They're the bank. All they got is money.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
I kick game to y'all for free. When I'm dealing with them, they need to pay me very handsomely. And that's what I mean robbery. Because if you are a bunch of white dudes who don't got the sauce and you need the sauce, pay for the sauce. That's it. So I call that robbery because what I do, the knowledge I have and the resources I have is I consider that's like free. But because you're not that, you gotta have to pay for it, every single thing. And that's why I call robbery, because if they had it, they wouldn't ever come to me.
Oh, okay.
So again, what labels are to me in 2025 is that they're completely a bank.
Right.
The top A&R, there's a few great A&Rs in the building, but most of them don't know what's hot music.
They don't know what
they
they're
wait
doing.
till it pops up on TikTok, or they watch streams like this and be like, what are the people who watch Act stream into?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Act has been like the biggest reason I even like know what's going on in the world of hip hop, bro. Like Act has been like, you know, a big reason, bro. He takes a whole bunch of details, consolidates it all nicely into just one, you know, content video stream that you can cohesively just like see the landscape of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit of salation there, here and there. You feel what I'm saying? Some, I don't know, dick and pussy business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, whatever it is that's going on in the game, you will know it because of this man, right? And salute to him for that. You feel what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I might as well just adopt the same method. And it's and with this freaking button, dog. You know, there's like the other boom sound effect that I use when I'm saying something like that I want to be taken seriously, right? It's just that my freaking soundboard is messed up, and now it's just one button that works, and it's this. Imagine, bro. I say something serious and it's like, chill, right? Nah, so as I'm saying, bro, like I might as well adopt the same method for this, bro. But you know, as I told you, I'm finna focus more on the music. I care about the music, and that's why I do gravitate to X content as well. You know what I'm saying? So big reason why I stay tapped in. I'm not gonna hold you.
They'll go on my page. They'll go on Say Cheese. They'll be like,
that's why these labels want to go on your page and you know what I'm saying? Type creators like you type.
Hey, what does Rakai listen to? Yes, that's how they find their artists these days. So what does that tell you? They're looking to tastemakers and influencers and voices to actually tell them how to spend their money. Well, once you know that,
you're lost.
You don't got a couple things that you could suggest that they should dump their money into? Here's the thing. I'm a little bit different. When it comes to me, I have a proven track record.
Okay.
They've seen me, which wasn't any type of marketing. It was just like pure, you know, I'm moving off my own, however I do my thing. But a guy who gets zero marketing, and you could see the budget, zero marketing, becomes a top 5 rapper in a span of a year. His name is Tekashi 6ix9ine. They look at me like I'm the fucking golden guy. Like I'm like, I got a Midas touch. So of course after that they gotta pay for it. I'm sorry. Like, you know how many times they be like, yo, Ack, you wanna go on vacation with an artist? No.
Bro, you let them pay for your interactions with 6ix9ine. And look, I even saw the whole move when 6ix9ine, you know, I found out that he had like a live stream channel, right? In my mind, I was like, yo, this is the idea of the label, you know, trying to get their artist on this new wave of just like, yeah, this new motion of what keeps, you know, an entertainer relevant, right? And so like, yo, it's been a minute since I've seen that, you know, took a look at that channel. But yeah, he was on there, you know what I'm saying? And the chemistry between Ack and 6ix9ine is just like, you know, you can tell these niggas inseparable, bro. Pause. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Ack, you would be the one that they like just try to get close to for, you know, their artists to keep rolling, keep going.
Oh, but why are you asking me that? Nah, man, he fucks with you. Really? Okay. Nah, y'all should just chill. Okay. All right.
And they did.
We'll pay for it all. Okay. Well, how about we do a documentary? We could do a documentary or something.
They asked you for a doc?
That's the truth about the music industry.
Oh.
But what's even more the just flat out truth is this. labels lost their sauce. Back in the day, everything was so in-house, right? You'd get an artist, and because the labels were seen as so much of the savants and the professionals, when they created an artist, it was their jobs to groom the artist, and not in the weird way. Just like, you know, get the artist.
Artist development type grooming. Yep. Get y'all head out that gutter.
From a uncultured or unprofessional, you know, maybe street dude or person who's never been in this industry to a savvy person who knows how to deal with interviews, who knows how to carry themselves.
Oh yeah, the whole PR training and right?
Who knows how to do all the things to further the bag.
The bag, okay.
So label will keep putting marketing dollars, do this behind the scenes, but you needed to develop as a person and as a businessman to not fuck up the bag. Nice. That was what was called
in-house training?
Artist
development.
What's the fucking word?
You just said
it. What's the shit called?
To change. Where they didn't get the playlist. It was the manager's responsibility to be able to develop the artist.
Oh, artist development.
There we go.
Yeah, that's so antiquated, but whether it's a Lil Wayne or whoever, you know, that's what it is. By the way, in basketball, they do it too.
They do? Oh, yeah, of course. You got to develop this. Well, it's about, like, obviously, you know, developing the artist to have the mindset to constantly work at the skill. And develop, like, even things like etiquette and how to move and brand development, essentially.
Anytime there's a draft class that comes in, especially for the NBA, the first week of camp is not basketball. They get taught how to be professionals. Hey, you're representing a brand.
There we go. Brand
this is what you can't do. You can't go out there and get caught driving drunk. It's going to be a reflection on us. You will get suspended too.
Right.
You can't be beating on your girl. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. Hey, at any time, they tell this to rookies in professional sports. If you're ever drunk, you're somewhere, it's okay. We might we'll turn a blind eye to it. Just call this number. Someone will pick you up. You cannot get caught with a DUI.
He's freaking right, bro. Because, like, you gotta understand. Like, when it comes to the sports fraternity, actually, it's even much more strict, bro. Right? Like, artists can get away with a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when we considering hip hop, because, you know, here for that, we in this channel for that. So with them, bro, they're already degenerates. You know, it's reflective in their music. You know what I'm saying? They're already just womanizers. You feel what I'm saying? They pride themselves in having, you know, many women. You know what I'm saying? Getting money just recklessly. You know, pushing that work, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when that is attached to your image, maybe, you know, in alignment with your music, and you're already just like marketable within that, you know, sense, and then, you know, some that's working there, then I guess, you know, you could get away with a whole bunch of maybe degeneracies around your name, maybe attached to who you are, blah blah. Hello Future, you know what I'm saying? Hello the baby, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the baby's career right now compared with Future, and in terms of aging, you know, Future got the better end of the stick, but it's like, yo, when it comes to the sports though, yo, one little dent, one little just stain, oh my god, bro, you losing a lot. You know what I mean?
It looks bad up on you and the league. Hey, if you're in this pickle, you and your girl start arguing, call this one person. They'll get you out of there. Do not argue with your girl. Do not put your hands on. We want to avoid anything with police. These things are
bro, you are their asset. You are property to them. Right?
Development or developmental processes for people who are now in high profile, high status occupations, whether you are a rapper or basketball players. It's only significant that there's something else that has millions of dollars invested in your brand, and how you end up treating that brand could make them look bad, or even worse, make them lose money.
Preach.
So they do it for sports.
Preach.
But artist development when it comes to music was very necessary, because you don't want somebody fucking up the bag. If artist development existed, when the baby went on stage and said, man,
no, wait. Now, I know people are familiar with the baby situation. Before we get into all that, though, How's that little word from the sponsors?
Yeah, lie. To me, one can't never fool me again. Don't hate the messenger, man, hate the same. When one thing about facts is when they hit you, feel no pain. When you swear it's about that shit that made these bitches go insane. Simping niggas most neglected, these my broskies, I'm just saying. Get the fuck up off her ass, making us look bad for my age.